compliance with the notice requirements of law. Public notice was posted in the office of the Board of Education and communicated to the municipal clerk, the Daily Record, and the Star Ledger on January 11th, 2018. Can you all join me in the flag salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Janice, may I please have a roll call vote?
Mr. Brucio?
Here.
Ms. Dodd?
Here.
Ms. Rosales?
Present.
Mrs. Mullen?
Here.
Mrs. Phillips?
Here.
Ms. Rosario? Ms. Ruiz?
Here.
Mr. Scarnio? Dr. Sainer?
Present.
Ms. Pelestis?
Here. Now, at this point in the meeting, we'd like to provide an opportunity for public comment, specifically regarding the agenda. So you all have a copy of the agenda, and if there is something in particular that you would like to comment on, now is the time to do that. We do try to keep the time to 3 minutes to give everyone an opportunity to speak. So if any of you have anything on agenda items, right now is the time to have your voice heard. And by the way, when you do a public comment, would you please give us your name, your address, and that's it. So have we got anyone on agenda items? No, okay, all right. We have an approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the list of minutes?
So moved.
Second.
May I have a roll call vote?
Mr. Brucio?
Abstain from executive, yes to regular.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullen?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
Yes. Under communications, would we like the community and public relations to just answer that, or shall we have Ms. Jennings?
Well, it's two different things.
I know, well, it's, yes, it is, it's two different things, so do you want to tell us about the national?
Do I want to say it? I'm very happy to tell you about the national.
Come on,
Honor
tell us
Society
about it.
induction dinner,
Ms. Phillips?
which is on May 17th at 6:30, and yes, I will be going because Jordan will.
Congratulations to all of the students, but in particular to Jordan. That doesn't have to go in the minutes.
No, it's
Okay.
Okay, we'll check their office, yes.
And we have a letter from Melissa Matarazzo. I believe that you all have that. Do you want to take care of it? And we're just acknowledging the communication, correct? At this point, the board members.
She thanked the board for their commendation at the last board meeting.
Thank you for the question. Okay. And now we move to board secretary and treasurer reports. Here.
Sorry, I'd like to make a motion that the board acknowledges receipt of the report from the business administrator as included in our packet.
Second.
Do I have any questions, comments, concerns? There being none, do I have a motion? A second?
We had them.
All right.
It's roll call.
Yes, I know that it was already moved because we discussed it, so it's, okay. I'm fine. I'm just worried about Dr. Sainer. Okay. Dr. Sainer's fine, so we can have a roll call vote.
Mr. Brucio?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullen?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
Yes. Now's the time we have the superintendent's report.
Well, thank you so
Mr.
much.
Decker.
First item is recommendation that we approve the placement and transportation for the special education student as noted. Mr. Daniel has promised, I believe this will be the last of the year, so we can, I ask for your approval for that placement. I think Mr. Daniel just passed that.
Okay.
Fell over.
All right. May I have a motion on that, please?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
And a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cruccio?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullen?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Gillespie?
Yes.
Okay, we do have a termination of an out-of-district placement for the special needs student as noted. The next item, we ask the board approval for the field trips as per the attached list.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, do I have any questions regarding field trips or anything else for special ed students?
Just a comment, it's nice to see all the field trips going and knowing, where they're going and the correlation with the work. So it's great to see that. Good creativity.
Thank you. That's good to hear. All right. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Sure. Mr. Cruccio?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullen?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Gillespie?
Yes.
Next item, we ask the board's approval for the professional development and travel authorization for staff as noted.
Okay.
So moved. Second.
Any questions or comments? There being none, may I have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Cruccio?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullen?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Gillespie?
Yes.
And I do want to mention two things that are not on the agenda, if it's okay.
Okay.
As you know, we had an Eastover ceiling fan fire last Friday. Feels like a while ago. And I just want to say to the board what an excellent job the staff, the administrators, the parents, the students did. It was, everybody came together and we really, I think everyone came together as a working unit and did the best we could to show the care and compassion for the students and the fact of the organizational ability of our staff and administrators, our first responders, the police, the fire. Everyone came together to evacuate basically 1,200 students in a very, very orderly manner. And I was just very proud of it. I think they did an outstanding job. And it made you feel good when there's a very heavy burden on us when it comes to protecting the health, safety, and welfare of our students. None of us take it lightly, and it's something that many of us think of constantly. And even though it was a relatively minor incident, it was still something that I think everyone came together, and it was great to see that Dover spirit come to fruition. Many of the first responders were ex-students. You could tell that they were very caring and concerned for our students. There was no panic. Everything just proceeded in an orderly and prearranged way. So it does say something about the practicing that goes on. The other issue we want to bring up is a year ago, we had students at Dover Middle School go to Picatinny for the pumpkin catapult launch. I forget the name of that, but Dr. Sainer, do you remember the name?
I don't.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I feel better. They have the devices that throw the pumpkins out. We were able to make some contacts at Picatinny. As a result of that, we're in contact with a group in Boston who does STEM training. And at that point, almost a year ago, we applied for a STEM grant for the students, roughly later intermediate level students. And we won the grant, and we're in the final stages of putting that together. But for a week-long, full-day project this summer, we'll have students engaged in one of our schools, probably Eastover, where they'll be working on STEM projects, and by the end of the week, they'll be bringing home their own homemade computer, robots that they'll be doing. So it's an exciting project that we're going to be advertising very shortly. And what I really feel good is that there is absolutely no fee for any student. You see a lot of STEM programs that cost, $300, $400, $500, $600 for a summer program. This will be completely free to all students who participate. So the details will be coming out, but it's nice, even though we started a year ago, that this did come to fruition. Thank you, Matt.
And thank you, it's really good to hear those things. I think that we need to, I like the fact that we're spending time talking about both the staff and the students and the accomplishments of both, so thanks. Thank you very much. Okay. And, okay, we can roll call right now. Personnel, Ms. Rosales.
Hi, good evening. I don't have an update from the Personnel Committee, but I do have a recommendation to approve staff and extra services appointments, as you see in the agenda, from item 1 through all the way down to 11, right? Yes.
Do I have a motion? Any discussion, concerns, questions? There being none, can I have a roll call vote, please?
Okay, Mr. Lucio?
Yes to 2, 4, 5, and 11, abstain from the rest.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mrs. Nolan?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sanders?
Yes.
Ms. Gillespie?
Yes. And negotiations, Mr. Storm.
You still got a B.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you moved it better. Okay. Do I have a motion on B?
So let me present it first.
Yes, please.
So we recommend approval of staff and extra services appointment for the 2017-18 school year from 1 to 2.
So I have motion, no, I need a motion first.
Oh, you approve it?
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. Do I have any questions, concerns, comments? There being none, can I have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Lucio?
Abstain.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mrs. Nolan?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sanders?
Yes.
Ms. Gillespie?
Yes. And Mr. Scarnio is
Ms.
not.
Gillespie? I'm sorry, just to clarify, and I know we've already voted, on B, is that staff and extra service appointments for 2017, 2018, or did we mean 2018, 2019?
18, 19.
18, 19.
Yeah, it's a good point. In the B part, it does say.
In the B part.
It says 18, but the 1 and 2, the resolutions actually say 2018, 19.
Right.
But it's a good point.
Thank you for pointing that out.
That's in Ms. Phillips' eagle eye.
We've got eagle eyes at the end of the table. This is good, because the board president is so blind, so. Okay. No, I've totally messed myself up and,
Negotiation.
I know, I was just checking to see whether or not we've done roll call. Negotiations, Mr. Scarnio is not here. What? And I think that we can skip it, I believe that negotiations are ongoing.
That's
Great. Curriculum and co-curricular. Ms. Mullen.
I move that the board approves the calendar for the 18-19 school year.
Second.
Any comments, questions?
Students will be reporting September 5th, and the last day for students is tentatively June 26th. Inclusive of 5 snow days.
That's good, that's good.
I think we did more this year, more
But you know what?
weather system.
It is absolutely great not to use the snow days, because Lord knows this year we've had, we have to get a little creative there. All right, may I have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Lucio?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes. Say C.
Mrs. Mullen?
Yes, of course.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruette?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Gillespie?
Yes. And Jordan's mom, you're back on.
Jordan's.
Sorry. I can't get some, that's thing going on here.
Okay, so for community relations, there's just a couple of things I just want to mention. I need a list. So grades 3 through 6 are taking park tests this week, and AP students have started their AP testing. So just want to wish all of the students well. I know the 8th grade awards dinner is this Thursday, May 10th. Tomorrow night is parent information night. Screenagers here at the high school at 7 o'clock. And I did see a message today that said if seniors attend and they bring their parent, then they get entered into a raffle for a free prom ticket or something.
Made or something.
That's a
It's a
good
good
incentive.
Is it a $90 value?
97, I think.
Yeah, it's up
I
there.
was gonna say, if there's any student out there that their parents are working, I'm going, so they can pass as my student, so they can be put in the raffle.
Well, I'll offer to do that.
I'm planning on going, so. I don't know if it would be cheating, but if a parent is working and they can't go, I will be more than a stand-in parent for that night.
I just said a parent, I didn't say your parent.
Right, that's true, so, oh, that's good. Eagle eye
A lot of
again,
these
see?
kids, they call me mom anyway.
So that,
They do.
I get
I will
that.
make the same one.
Oh, good. I'm going, are you going?
Yeah, I am.
All right, so there we have 3 students that can benefit if their parents are not available.
I think the whole board should go and just attach themselves to it.
I don't know if Mr. Becker is in agreement with that, but.
See how it goes.
Keep the levity here going, okay.
Okay, so,
Let's say that
sorry,
word.
see, I wasn't trying to, no.
It was good.
Sorry, started trouble.
Then, let's see what else. Oh, on Saturday, May 12th, there is Family Fun Day in the park to benefit El Camino Paso at Waterworks. Saturday, May 12th from 1 to 5, rain date is Sunday, May 20th. And Tiger Wrap students help spruce up the Tiger Wrap flower bed. Students and Tiger Wrap staff work together to clean up the bed and plant spring flowers and put down mulch. And lastly, I know that this week is Teacher Appreciation Week, so I want to acknowledge that and acknowledge the teachers that are in the room and those that are not, and say thank you for everything that you do for all of our students.
Thank you.
May I want you to mention one more thing? The band is having its annual fundraiser also on Saturday, busy day. They are at the Mine Hill Fire Department doing car washing. You can buy flowers and baked goods for mom, so one-stop shopping, get
So,
mom's car clean.
May 12th?
May 12th, that's whatever the
That's
Saturday.
This Saturday.
May
Yes.
12th, yes, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the times, but it's like
Okay.
10 to 3-ish.
When you said car wash, you kind of got me going there, okay.
Baked goods too, while they're washing.
Okay.
How many sounds of those are they touching
They got
up?
to do a lot.
Yeah.
So we're used to dollars.
I know.
Oh, wow, last year,
Yeah.
over 1,000.
I was like, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Terrific, thank you. And, is that it? Okay, thank you. Okay, Ms. Ruiz, we have policy.
Yes, the policy committee report is that we have been very busy, meeting very often. We met on April 25th and May 1st. We will continue to meet, we plan to continue to meet twice a month, including in the summer, to get through as many policies as possible, and certainly to get through the ones we've agreed to get through this year. And with that, I move that our board approve on the committee's recommendation the policies listed below. The second reading of 0168 recording board meeting revised, and then we'll do the other one later.
Do I have a motion for a second reading on policy 0168?
I just made the motion.
I second.
Can I have a secretary?
Do you need coffee? What, is that like, Ms. Celeste says, would coffee help you?
Is it? Yes, actually, seriously, coffee would help. I have iced tea in here. It's not doing the job. Okay, my apologies. Thank you, Ms. Ruiz. I appreciate that. You seconded it, please?
Ms. Dodd, second.
Ms. Dodd seconded. Okay, can we have a roll call vote?
Mr. Ruscio?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullins?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sager?
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
Yes. Ms. Ruiz?
Oh, sorry.
Another one?
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking, who's going to tell Elijah to buy me baked goods and flowers and get my
Wait.
car washed on
Okay,
Saturday?
wait, all right, we're on it.
Sorry.
Wait a second. We're
Go, go, go.
texting.
I need
It's
coffee
okay.
too. Okay. I move on the policy committee's recommendation that the policy 7440, school district security, be approved on this first reading with the second reading planned for May 22nd.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Do I have any questions?
I have a question. What does the M mean in the title?
Mandatory. Okay,
Thank you.
David?
Thank you, Mr. Busio.
Oh, and just roll call vote.
Mr. Brucio?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullins?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
Yes, and just because we're on the policy issue, I did want to let the committee know that I've reached out to School Boards Association and indicated to our representative that she can coordinate with the policy committee regarding the issues that we were talking about in terms of training and that kind of stuff. So please feel free to contact Ms. Peterson and schedule whenever dates. I didn't want to schedule anything because I don't know when you're all meeting. But I just wanted to fill you in.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Got nothing on buildings and grounds, do we? Okay, moving right on.
I'd like to move that we approve or adopt the following resolutions, A1 through 8, paying particular attention to the large number of contributions to various scholarship funds, especially the ones on the dedication of a former Dover teacher who passed away recently. And so I think that's the best tribute a teacher could get, honestly.
So do I.
Their legacy go on.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And I just have a question really that I'm going to ask. When we have individuals that are donating to scholarships here at the school, do we have a procedure or a policy that we send a little thank you note to them or something? Okay, I just wanted to be sure that we do that since I'm new, I wasn't sure. But to all the individuals who are listed here, you know, the kids couldn't do this without their input and their generosity and their contribution. It's really important to keep these scholarships going. And many of our students really, really need them. And so all I can say is to those individuals that are listed, thank you very much on behalf of the board and the students and the community. It's a wonderful thing, and it says a lot about the town of Dover. That's it. Roll call?
Mr. Brucio?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullins?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
Yes. And then we have, yes, Mine Hill Report. Mine Hill Report.
I was asked, there was a letter sent in January out requesting dates for two boards, committees to meet. We never received any dates. We just wanted to see if we could get
So
some
this
dates
is
for
for,
us.
yes, I
So
think
that
that we
so the
can.
committees can meet.
Alright. And this is for the full boards to meet together, correct?
I think it's just for the committees, I guess, for the
Okay.
783 thing.
Ms. Plessis, if I may.
We'll go looking at you.
I'm sorry, I just didn't, I didn't catch the beginning of that. If I can ask Mr. Brewster to repeat, did he say that a letter was sent requesting a meeting?
Yes.
Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah,
In
well,
January.
yeah, for some kind of date.
Okay. And then, and if I may, Ms. Plessis, and follow up, I don't believe we currently have a Mine Hill committee, and at least 2 former members remain on the board, but we would need to create one in order to fulfill that
We can have an
request.
ad hoc committee that I think could go, get together an ad hoc committee and determine interest and then, yes. Okay, and we will make sure that we take a look back at the request and move from there.
Yeah,
But
that's fine.
thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah,
We
that's
bring it
fine.
our attention.
You wanted me to ask if there's a couple of dates you could
Okay.
give, and we'll figure accommodate so everybody can meet and, make it work.
Sounds good.
And I think that was part of the settlement agreement between the 2 districts that's now in some questions. So
Yeah, yeah.
perhaps that's a confusing item to throw into the mix in terms of getting the committees going as part of the settlement before we have approval.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, because we're putting it in the
We'll look at
spring.
it.
We will take a look at it and
Okay.
then
That's fine.
follow up.
That's just-
Thank you. That was good. Thank you, Mr. Lucio. Okay, we've got old business. I don't know that we have much under old business other than the fact that I believe that we've gotten responses to our requests for proposals that we will then take a look at. So if you all recall, we asked for requests for proposals from various insurance brokers to see whether or not, just to kind of explore and see what the costs are out there. I believe we've gotten those responses back, but now we'll have to schedule some dates. What I was thinking is that, at the very least, so that we don't have to call a special Board of Education meeting, the Buildings and Grounds and the Finance Committee chairman should meet initially with, and I would also be part of that, to meet initially with the various agents who have sent a proposal. And then if they feel it would be warranted for the full board to hear more, you can make that decision at that time, but that's kind of the direction I'm leaning in unless I hear something else. Okay? So I just wanted to let you know that we did actually get them in and we're moving in the direction.
And Ms. Pelestis, if I may, I do have a question under old business. At our, if I,
Sure.
at our budget, our public budget hearing, we learned that we allocated funding for a preschool teacher and that we plan to add a preschool classroom at Eastover. And then I asked where, and I believe Ms. Schumacher or Ms. Jenish or both replied that it would be at Eastover, depending on enrollment. So my question is whether this enrollment is contingent upon the Mine Hill settlement, or this is a separate and aside.
Sure. This particular spot that was discussed is for a new class at Eastover, assuming that we have a class open up. So that was hopefully starting another preschool class at the Eastover